damn it. Okay,
Nope.
local recordings off. What's wrong?
The host has enabled local recordings.
No, I turned it off, actually. I like UK. Greetings from the UK. Interesting title for the video. Yeah, you'd say
Greetings.
that. We'll come around to that later.
We'll come around to that.
Yeah, we'll come around to that. How's everybody doing? We got 4 people in the house. Just gonna let some people file in through the door. I guess I could turn my main camera on, eh? I actually had an interview with somebody yesterday or the day before, where I actually ran this thing in 1080 for approximately an hour and 45 minutes, and the battery finally died. So it took quite a while, man. An hour 45 running straight battery. And I know I've probably got SR375 saying, why didn't you get the dummy battery yet? I haven't had time. I've just been head up ass recently with tons of stuff. And speaking of what up, SR375, Matt W. Ruff. How's it going, buddy?
G'day.
My wife just got home with my kids, so it might get a little loud here in a second. Chris Parrott. Hello from Jamaica. Cheers, buddy. I don't think I've seen you here before, brother.
Welcome.
Welcome to the live stream. This is a unique live stream to drop in on, but
yeah, really, eh?
This one is going to have
a
few.
We might not see each other again, Chris. So, good to meet you. Have a great life. I hope you have accomplished all of the dreams you have and everything that you have set out for yourself.
You ever wanted to see somebody get fired? Stick around. What we got? Let the firing begin. We're gonna get to that. We'll
get there.
Dab, how's guys? Guys, good.
I missed you.
Guys, good. Dab, guys, good. He's a howdy guy. Says,
howdy.
No, I'm gonna stick with how's guys. Well, guys, if you like them, I mean, guys are great, I guess. First time live, but I watched the channel. LOL. Well, we appreciate you dropping by, Chris.
Yeah.
Really. What do we got? 16 people. Oh wow, we're filling out really well here. Good week, Dylan.
Good week. Crazy week.
It's been a
crazy
week.
Yeah. It's been a week.
I have finished. I'll put you on camera too. I finished my first episode of.
Look at him showing off his cameras.
When I grew up, the new podcast is coming out, courtesy of Dark Corner Media. I've got 3 interviews done so far. I've got a former FBI agent, Bobby Chacon, talking about that. I've got a former circus performer, Mark Ward, who was with Cirque du Soleil for many, many years. He was principal performer or principal character, something like that. That was his main role. Circus performer, if you will. And I got an OnlyFans girl. Sorry, she corrected me on that. OnlyFans content creator. That's going to be coming up. So those are the first 3 episodes, I believe, coming out for when I grow up. The first one's done. I'm going to have all 3 of them done before the podcast drops. And once the podcast drops, the videos are going to be dropping once every 2 weeks. So I will catch up eventually with the videos, but the podcast is going to be getting the love first. Matt Ruff, I used to run companies and fired plenty. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes sad case by case situation. This is just flat out sad. Just saying, just flat out sad.
See, Aiden's firing me because the videos that I was on, like the drum video and the 5870, those weren't performing well. So if you want to keep me, go back and just watch those videos right now hundreds of times.
Yeah, hit the like.
No, don't do that. Has nothing to do with anything.
Evening chaps and chat, Action Podcast. How's it going? I think we're kind of maxing out at the top, coming in the front door. If anybody else is coming later on, we're gonna have to push them to the front of the video here. I'm gonna give the floor to Dylan here. Dylan, it's all yours, buddy.
So no relation to what's happening at the end of this stream, but I've taken on a new role. I am going to be working with the Friedman Group, which might not be a name familiar to a lot of people here, but it is the company that owns Rode Microphones, Mackie, and Aphex. My official title is going to be Product Validation and Field Testing Engineer. It's a lot of words. What that basically means is I'm going to be ensuring that certain lines of the products and the equipment that are being developed work well for their intended use audiences in their intended applications. And so part of that will be through my use and testing of the equipment. And then part of that is going to be through connecting with the community and other people using it. Media and entertainment is a varied business. And there's an infinite number of situations and an infinite number of factors that impact them. And getting in touch with as many people as possible when you're trying to develop a product, especially equipment, anything technical, is really important. And so my goal is kind of going to be to keep my ear to the train tracks as much as possible and see kind of what people want, and where what problems, for the people using these equipment, what problems we can solve. Um, yeah,
Oh, so that you're done with it?
that's
That's your
yeah,
whole that's the
that's
whole
my whole
thing?
spiel. Yeah.
Do you wanna talk a bit on leaving me high and dry, or do you just wanna leave that, is that anything else that you wanna talk about?
Well,
No?
so I think we call out the elephant in the room. So the issue here is, Aiden has a channel, and this is an important thing for me too. That this channel remain transparent and unbiased. And obviously, me working with for a manufacturer, obviously I will always have an objective perspective on stuff, but there are questions that people would ask, and those questions are reasonable. Um, so I'm going to be stepping back from the channel. Obviously, Aiden and I, as friends and business partners, that's not going anywhere. I think Aiden is very committed to this relationship, just as I am. But yeah, my involvement in this channel, just for the sake again of transparency, of objectivity, of you know, Aiden wants this channel, and I want this channel to be as honest as possible with what's coming out, where the skeletons are, what could have been done better, what was done amazingly well, and everything in between. I think that's what this channel offers, and that's important to everybody involved, which at this moment is, two people. But that's, it's an important point for a channel like this.
Um, yeah, and you know what? I mean, first off, Dylan, what are your thoughts fully, negative on the new Roadcaster video and Streamer X? No, so sorry, that's for later. Um I I've had a lot of soul searching over the past couple days this week. I can't get into the details of how it started, but I do know in my previous interactions with Peter Friedman from Road, he watches the live stream. And I think I've mentioned that before, where guys like, if you got questions, if you've got concerns, this is, dude actually watches. He enjoys watching the live stream. And he's always been a big fan of Dylan. Of course, the channel as
To
well,
my
and me,
surprise, always.
but and that's one of the things that one of the reasons Dylan has been a part of this channel from the very beginning. But um, when this started going through, it created a lot of scenarios for me in my head, and I've come to rely greatly on Dylan on this channel for many different roles. And I need to point out they've all been unpaid. Uh, I
Well,
don't make enough.
they've been, little,
Okay, you got a
helping
Rode
each other out.
NTR out of the deal. Yeah, would you do all that work for a Rode NTR? Um,
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely, I would.
um,
Are you kidding me?
so I
Well,
mean,
either that or maybe an NT 2000.
yeah, that's coming up. Um, but it's I mean, a lot of the work Dylan's been doing, we go all the way back to the SM58 versus SM7B. That was the first video that Dylan actually appeared on this channel. And I just wanted a second face. I wanted Dylan was one of the smartest people I know. He knew microphones inside out and backwards. So when I'm asking him to break down differences between the SM7B and the SM58 or SM57, he was an obvious choice. We were friends. We constantly chatted on the phone, and slowly over the years, I just kept going back to him. And then I think one day we were talking on the phone, and it was damn well like 2 hours in, and I'm like, "Dude, do you wanna just start a live stream?" And we started this live stream, and, for the past, I would say 3 years, I think it's been, Dylan. Um, it's been a lot of fun, and this is something that I've loved. This has been a part of one of my favorite parts of this channel has been this live stream and working with Dylan. Now, when I talk about some of the things that I had to become rather introspective about over the past week, and one of those was the roles that Dylan's played and who's going to play them from here on out. And I don't have an answer for that yet. But it does mean that there's a little bit more on my shoulders for I got to start playing guitar again. So I can't be like, Dylan, play a line
Yeah,
for
we're
this.
still gonna be doing that. Yeah,
Um, and it's been it's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions because what this has meant to me and the amount of time, like I would have hired Dylan last year had my channel not hit that hiccup. And like my channel's already recovered and it's already on that upswing again. Last year was flat as hell and now it's on that upswing again. And it's like if this had happened last January, I'm almost 100% positive Dylan would have been working officially with Dark Corner Studios by
Oh,
now.
yeah, we
But
certainly had enough ideas in the hopper,
yeah,
to be a good
yeah,
amount of work for us.
it didn't work out, and and that's a shame. But that's also been like kind of the vibe of this channel the whole time is like, okay, let's just get Dylan hired, let's get Dylan a job. And sadly, a few months ago, when Dylan lost his actual day job, um,
At the time, yeah.
yeah, it was hard, obviously for you, but it was also like, there's a guilt of responsibility because I'm like, fuck, I wish I could just like hand you like, here's the money, buddy, you're good.
Honestly, it wasn't super hard. It was hard in the practical sense of like, okay, pivot, right? That's
Yeah,
always annoying, but from a sentimental or like an emotional standpoint, my previous role, and I realized it quite quickly, it had served its purpose. I had done my time in that chapter of my life, and it was around time for a change. Maybe a little earlier than I had planned, but I think this all kind of fell into place pretty naturally. And so, yeah, I'm happy to move on from this. It's funny, this wild relationship Aiden and I worked on. Um, I remember how it started. Aiden, I know you do too. We were 1 year apart. Aiden was the class of 2015. I was the class of 2016 in broadcast school. And Aiden was my second year mentor.
yeah,
Um, that's how we met. Is we were, and the funny thing was, you fill out a little questionnaire, like a survey, when they're trying to pair you up with a second year student because you're on air in week 3, which is a little bit
yeah,
daunting if you've never been on air before. And so you need somebody to kind of brace you for impact. And I filled out my questionnaire, and me and Aiden getting paired up was a fluke.
yeah,
Because they admitted after the people that were the students responsible for kind of correlating this stuff,
yeah.
they couldn't figure out a match. So they just said, all right, you two, you guys both like music. Sure. Um,
I was the top
and this
student.
is,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah. And
was the top
I don't know if I was
honor.
I was a top student. I'm not sure if I was the top student, but in a lot of respects, I probably could have been.
Well,
Um,
production. Yeah,
Yeah, production and, informatics and stuff like that. But it's crazy how, I don't know how this is snowballed, over the years. And, I was thinking we've done this stream for like 5 years, dude.
has it been 5? Okay.
I remember
I
we started during COVID. I remember we started during COVID and I was still in London. And
Yeah.
so it was either
Ah,
2020 or 2021,
oh man,
or like, yeah, 4 or 5 years. It
I
does
could go
not
back.
feel like that, right?
It does not. I'm actually gonna go take a quick look.
Yeah, see when our first live is. Does anybody remember? Anybody here remember?
So speaking from my perspective, wow, dude. Um, it was December 4th, 2020.
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
Dylan and
Been a
Aiden
while.
first stream Friday.
You
Uh,
also go back and watch that and see how cringe. I mean, we're still cringe, but
oh
you know,
no, let's not.
let's
Or
not say
don't.
we let's not say we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but on a personal note here, the reason Dylan and I clicked on my perspective was One, I was very, very passionate about music and being on the radio and performing, and um there was very few people in the program in my year who even came close to having the same drive. I still remember one of the students looked at me and goes, "Dude, you're a real tryhard." And he was this like little douchebag
I
20-year-old
know
named Garrett.
exactly who you're talking about
Yeah,
too.
Garrett. And
Yeah.
I turned to him and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, this is my life. This is going to be my job." I was coming from another job that I hated, and this was my salvation. And you're a little douchebag that's gonna probably jump around job to job and work at a Burger King in 5 years. So who's gonna be on top here?
Yeah, I know. I
And
think the one thing that I've learned is whatever path you choose, there are going to be obstacles that will be thrown at you.
Mhm.
Don't let off the gas pedal.
No.
Commit. You have to, whatever you're going to choose to devote the time in your life to, whatever that is, deserves to be committed to wholeheartedly. And if you do that, you will probably succeed.
And when I met Dylan, I saw the same passion. I saw like a guy that was very accomplished already in recording, and we hit it off because we had that, one, the passion, but two, also the knowledge and the drive behind what we wanted to do. And we hung out a few times, got drunk a few times, and as Dylan got into the workforce and I got into the workforce, which both happened almost simultaneously, um, one of the things I noticed about Dylan was completely undervalued. And it was funny because that was, and I'm nothing against the former employer, but it's kind of the state of radio right now is,
Yeah,
you
it's
get
it's State of the
fed
Union.
slop. Yep.
Yeah,
You,
it's shitty, but it's kinda like if you worked in print and you were, like 10 years ago. Like
yep.
it's being phased out well, it's not being phased out, it's transforming. It's kinda transmutating into a different business, but, yeah.
A dead one. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But I mean, and that was the thing
Not
that
wrong.
like we've we've talked about, is the value of this kind of stuff. And probably my biggest mark of pride, and I even told Peter this because I messaged him after all this stuff went down, and I just said, if there's one thing I'm proud of, it's the fact that I gave you an opportunity, like you found a platform to show the world what you got. And I had very little. That's not claiming any role in this. I had no role in it's been all you, but I'm just happy there was a platform there for you to do it. That makes me very happy
Yeah, well, that
because
I had the voice, I needed the megaphone.
yep,
And Aiden, your curation of this channel and this brand has been really really good. I think on paper, if you had sort of pitched exactly what it is that you do now to an investor at the start, they would have been like, "You're insane."
yep,
You've really created a lot of success out of this. Whenever I can contribute and help you do what you do, I'm happy to help with that. I'm always somebody that's helping, friends with
yeah,
advice and stuff. So I didn't look at this really as anything different than that. And then I
yeah.
was bored during COVID and you were bored and we said, let's do something. And I said, okay,
Yep,
we'll do a
fuck
live stream.
around,
Why
yeah.
not? And
Um,
yeah, it's funny to me because this live has never been work. Like I've never seen this as like a work thing. It's great
no.
talking to y'all. It's been great being here, answering questions, sort of hearing what people are saying, having kind of touchy battling of the minds at times, which I do enjoy that stuff. And this was a great kind of place to do that, unwind at the end of a stressful broadcast Friday. Yeah, now it's turned into this, which is wild.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it's funny because I look back in 2023, I offered Dylan a piece of Dark Corner Studios because I felt like there was a point where it was like, okay, well, Dylan's getting nothing out of this. I'll give you a percentage. I wasn't going to give you controlling percentage, but I was going
No,
to give
yeah,
you
no.
a very healthy. And you're
Yeah,
like, nah,
a good share, yeah. Yeah, well, at the
yeah,
time, it just I don't know, for me, it's not that it wasn't a good value proposition. At that point, I mean, it's not nearly the value proposition that is now, obviously, but, it's just that me at that moment, the priority didn't really line up. At
yeah,
that point, like in 2023, I was full bore in corporate radio, and doing quite well, in that and kind of getting involved in leadership of the business. And and things change, priorities change.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember that. I remember us having that conversation.
I still think about it the odd time, and I'm like, God damn, but it'd be
I
very
should
different
sort of
because
point out I am not nearly as pink as my camera is making me look. I just like pulled up a mirror a second ago. So I'm like, am I like a cherry tomato right now or
you're
what?
using the
Um,
webcam or your camera.
no,
Camera.
this is the Nikon. I was
Oh,
fumbling around with the color profile and I think I screwed up.
ah,
Um, it was the most neutral, and it was too orange. I hate how orange I was looking on this live stream, so I took out the gel. By the way, in the comments, one last bit of advice that I want from you guys. I'm looking for a Bowers Mount gel holder, like a frame that can hold like Roscoe gels like this, right? I can't find anything. Hey, maybe I'm not looking in the right place.
most come actually attached. Like my new 100D. No, it's the it's the freaking what's it called? The light box actually has one inside the light box. So most light
Yeah,
boxes,
well,
this is the
and they're
Aperture
like,
Mini Dome 2.
oh, nice. And yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen those. I've seen the gels that are circular and they're kind of cast like they're kind of single, your typical red, green, blue. But I used to be a bit of a theater nerd, so I've got all kinds of like weird gel colors that you couldn't get with the typical 4-piece kit. So I'd like to be able to repurpose these because obviously these aren't cheap. And if
Yeah.
I can use them with an LED light or a video light, that'd be great. But if you have any
Uh,
ideas, let me know.
anyways, it's going to be a tremendous loss to the channel with Dylan
Yep.
leaving, but at the same time, there are a lot of projects that like I'm going to have to handle on my own, like the 4-track, which is going to be interesting. But at the same time, I'm also looking forward to this challenge to kind of, I don't know, flex my muscles and get some. We just recently, I kind of got inspired by a couple concepts that Dylan we worked together on prior to him getting the offer. Uh, but I think it's going to be really cool that I now have somebody on the inside at Mackie, at Road, at Friedman Group, whatever you want to call it. Um, and I think that's going to lead to more content in the future than I think. Right? I think there's going to be more. There's a very, very good open communication relationship with Road, with Peter, with the Friedman Group. I guess I should just call them the Friedman Group. With Dark Corner
Friedman
Studio.
Electronics Proprietary Limited.
Yeah, exactly. There's a very good open relationship between us. And that's one of the things I love has been kind of cultivating that relationship and having my buddy work for them it's going to be kind of cool at the same time. So,
It's a little
uh
surreal, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, important for all of us to keep grounded throughout this because it's quite the transition.
and you know what? It's a dream job.
100%.
Which congratulations, buddy. That's amazing. And from here on out,
Yeah,
because of
honestly,
that,
like a few.
no, go ahead.
Sorry, cutting you off. No, I was just saying, a few people have asked me, like, you seem kind of like very like zen and calm about this. I'm like, yeah, I'm exercising significant effort to stay grounded. Because one thing I've learned in my life is that people have a tendency to make really stupid decisions when they're really, really sad, and make stupid
Yeah,
decisions when they're really, really happy. And so it's important for me in both scenarios to try to, keep on a steady
yeah,
plane, because yeah, I mean, this is a dream job. I'm really excited to get started with this. I'm really excited for all of the adventures that this role is going to entail and the incredible people that I'm going to get to meet and learn from along the way, and maybe even
yeah.
in some cases teach myself. It's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be awesome. Anyways, but what this means is Dylan kind of alluded to this is the last time Dylan's gonna be able to be on this channel in the role of what he's been doing now. This isn't the last time Dylan's gonna be on the channel. I can say that with 100% certainty, but the next time he's gonna be wearing a shirt that has a different brand on it, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
not
be
plaid.
acting. Yeah, he's going to be acting as a representative of another company, meaning he's not going to be impartial. And that's okay. But from here on out, this is Dylan's last kick at the can for a live stream. And going forward, we'll touch on like what's going to happen to the live stream in just a few. I do want to get to a couple questions because I've seen a couple that have popped up since we started talking, and I do want to address a couple. Everyone's saying congrats on the new role.
Thank you.
Congrats to the Freedom Group for getting Dylan to sign on. Yes, the one thing I'm going to say about this, and I kind of tested the water to make sure, they know damn well that they're lucky to get Dylan on. Peter was very happy after finally meeting Dylan and kind of talking back and forth. There was a lot of like, they were on the same page. And I think it was kind of one of those things that, we've been trying, Peter's been trying to figure out a way for him and Dylan to kind of touch base. And now that it's happened, didn't take long. About 2 weeks ago, I told Dylan, I said, I bet you any money you're going to get a job offer soon. And voila, within like a week and a half.
Yeah,
Anyways,
a lot of it in less than that. This thing, I will say, moved incredibly fast.
yeah.
I'm used to the speed, and I was just talking to somebody else about this today. I'm used to the speed of large organizations being a
Okay.
little bit like molasses.
Yeah.
In that there's a lot of systems and procedures and departments and bifurcation of labor in place that I had just sort of assumed was a given byproduct of just doing business. But I think working with this company
Yeah, no,
has
it's
taught me
usually
that no, that's not a given of doing business because there's people that don't have that problem. Um,
SR375 says, congratulations. Can I hit you up for an NTR?
no,
No. First official statement from Dylan working for another company. Can't think of a better person. So Aiden gonna get free gear in this deal. Actually, it's funny. No, I've been told though, the relationship that I have with the Friedman Group is, hey, do you want to try something out? Let us know. But that's been that way well before any contract was passed to Dylan. So if you'll notice in behind me, you'll probably see it better. No, you won't see it better there. You'll see it here, right in this corner, right there. That's the new Pro FX 10 Go from Mackie. That's got a video coming up soon. It's going to take a bit, like it's a board, right? So gonna have to go over that. I also got the NT2000. I reached out. Somebody, I forget who, asked me to review it on the video I did for the best voiceover setups. And the NT2000 is one of those mics that I knew it existed, but I'd forgotten it existed. And it's like, oh yeah. And so I just
I'll be
reached
honest,
out.
I did not know it existed at all. You mentioned it, and I was like, huh? And then again, there's people that are gonna say, oh, you're biased now. We got to play around with that earlier this week, and that's a killer mic. That's a mic that got me really excited playing with that.
I actually have to confirm with Peter if he's okay with you being in that video, because that was technically shot before anything was announced or anything happened. So one of us will touch base, but yeah, there's a point. The first time in the history of this channel that Dylan and I, maybe if I just keep all of your opinions out and I just keep the playing in, the first time on this channel in 5 years.
When I gave those opinions, I was a free agent.
True.
And I'm still in most respects a free agent. But in terms of any kind of possible perceived manufacturer bias. But obviously when the video comes out, it's a different story. Yeah.
But yeah, it was the first time since we started this that Dylan and I sat down and jammed across from each other. And cool. I remember thinking that while we were doing it, I'm like, how the fuck has it been this long? And we've never done this.
Yeah.
Like, out of all of the microphones we've reviewed, by the way, that one that never got reviewed, I'm going to have to do it myself now. You know bloody well which one I'm talking about, too.
Yeah, have fun.
I'm going to take your notes on what you think, by the way.
Yes, I do have some good notes. I'll give them to you.
Yan says, I'll audition for the role of co-host. We'll talk about that.
And okay, I will throw you an olive branch. you can still use my performance that I did with it. You can do what you want with the verbiage that I had planned for it, but the actual of testing it out, you can have that. You can
Okay.
use that.
Okay. Sweet. Sweet. So I don't have to play guitar for a couple weeks then. SR375 wants to know, what about NAB? NAB, NAB, whatever. Now that you're working for the Friedman Group, I'm just going to call it NAB until someone there corrects me, which I don't think they're going to. They're too nice. Dylan's still going, but he's going to be going with the Evil Empire.
Hey, I'll be on the other side of the fence this time. In terms
I'm
of
gonna.
like, I'll be standing at a table rather than walking in between. I mean,
He'll,
I'm still going to be walking between them.
he'll be at a much nicer hotel than I was going to put him up at.
I was actually excited for that, man. Nobody knocks Excalibur. That place
No,
is.
you know what? I mean, there's something to be said about both, but Dylan's still going to be there. I'm still going to be there. Dylan and I are still going to hang out.
100%. Yeah.
Dylan won't be in any of my videos unless I'm covering Mackie or Road stuff.
Yeah. Which you
Um,
probably will be.
yeah. I mean, it's NAB. Of course, there's going to be something.
I
Who
thought you
knows?
just said you're going to call it NAB and tell somebody.
Yeah, NAB, whatever. I've gotten used to NAB now, so I kind of mix it up a little bit just to piss some people off still.
If somebody says NAMM, I'm gonna strangle you.
Nobody calls it NAM, dude.
Oh my god.
So I'm still gonna hang out. Dylan, yeah, it's just gonna be me going to work by myself again after all of that work. God damn it. Yeah, so NAB or NAB is going to still be going on. It's still going to be a lot of fun. If you want to come out and meet either myself or Dylan, we're both still going
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah, I'll be around.
And I know we have at least one dinner planned, so that'll be
Yes.
fun. Dab says, congrats. Both you guys gave me a passion to pursue the best audio I could achieve. I'm still learning, so much to learn. Thank you both. Dylan, you'll be missed. Aiden, you'll still be my go-to channel. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? The one thing I never even considered was that I would lose subscribers if Dylan lost. Now that I'm considering
Honestly,
that,
I didn't even consider that too. I mean, these lives, I don't know how big of a component they are. You have the analytics, I don't. But to me, it's my involvement, versus the amount of stuff that you put out, because you've gotten to be quite a well-oiled machine at this point. And my involvement in that on camera has been pretty minimal. I think we've done
yep.
maybe 3 or 4 videos. And maybe a few more than that, maybe like 5.
Yeah, but then there's the music.
Yeah, there's the music, and obviously there's the live streams like this that we do, which we do one a week, and have done for the last 4 years. That's not insignificant.
I've been thinking about one thing. I still want to put out a cover album with you.
Totally.
So like
totally
I may
do
still do like the music on here, working with Dylan not in the video, just as my producer, literally as my hired producer, and obviously instrumentalist and stuff like that, but not in the videos. And that is still okay. Right. And I really want to have a cover album with you that we can put out and sell, because that is cool. So what's going to happen to the channel? Nothing, King Paco. It's going to be as is. The one of the things that Dylan has kind of really exemplified on this channel has been the knowledge base. I am a firm believer in surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you at things that you want to be smarter at. I'm not in any way ever going to try to claim mastery of knowledge at things that I don't have a mastery in.
Oh, me.
I've relied on Dylan multiple times to explain things to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Dylan has been a big go-to to kind of like, I've given him scripts before. Dude, can you just confirm that I'm not going to sound like an idiot here? Dylan has been a huge part of the just the knowledge base is probably the best way to put it of this channel. And I mean, that's going away, but at the same time, like, I know how to stay in my lane. There's also ways to Google stuff and learn it on your own. I just won't be able to bother a human anymore for it.
I mean, you can bug me for it, and like, regardless of who I'm involved with, when I provide an opinion, and I say that it's my honest opinion. It will always be my honest opinion. If
Yeah.
I can't, if I have to do something that's more, like again, there will be involvement in the channel on specific kind of spotlighty, tutorially for the product kind of videos, and those
Yep.
are things
Oh, absolutely.
that opportunities that will come up that we'll all evaluate on a case by case basis. But as far as this channel and this channel's relationship with any manufacturers or whatever that is, that's not changing. Literally, the only
Yeah.
thing that's changing from this channel standpoint is a reduction in my presence.
Yeah.
That's it. Aiden's coverage is unaffected by this, and the perspective of Aiden's coverage is unaffected as well.
Yep. Outsider Jess, y'all are the dream team, and they know greatness when they see it. Yeah.
Thanks, Seth.
Dylan's Dylan's been pursued for a while, and that makes me happy. I also love the fact that it happened at probably one of the best times it could have. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
again, everything kind of fell into place in a very wholesome kind of way. So,
SR375. I sure hope you continue to perform and add to your own YouTube channel, Dylan.
oh,
Um,
always, yeah. Well, that was one of my questions. Was is it okay if I continue? I'm a creator myself, not a very prolific one, but I'm a creator, and that still is really important to me. I get a lot of intrinsic value from that. And how do you, to take some words from Peter, how do you design race cards if you never fucking drive them?
yep.
It's I have to continue to do the work, because how I need perspective on these tools. And in order to do that, I got to use the tools in real world scenarios. So absolutely, if I'm testing out a microphone, I'm going to use the microphone. If I'm testing out speakers, I'm going to use and listen to the speakers. And so it's
Yeah.
important that I keep doing this. So yes, long story short, I absolutely will continue to contribute to my own channel and possibly start up more channels as well.
King Paco, Roadcaster Duo Streamer X. I'm still kind of curious whether or not that's going to come out. Dylan, my pontification cannot include you. Have the software pick preset. You don't have to do it manually. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Like with everything, I do notice the one quirk I've had with Roadcaster Video and the Streamer X is when I change my, let's say I go to a dynamic and then I come back to a condenser, all of the presets are back, or they're back to kind of standard, and it's like, anyways, that's one of those, like, I really kind of wish. I'm pretty sure you can save a preset. I haven't ever tried because I move through microphones so quickly. Anyways, regardless, 3D print
I'll
wizards
have to
that can
try
make you
that
a
now.
custom gel holder. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Uh,
I might. I thought of just going to like a friend with a 3D printer who's decent with it. It wouldn't be complicated to manufacture or something like that.
okay. Dan says, missed the start. Is this a Sydney roll, Dylan? Congrats.
This will be an all over the place role, really. Remote in theory, but I'm going to be moving around. I'm going to be talking to people at all the, the big shows, the NABs, the NABs. I think that's why I'm driven to say NAB, because NAM is NAM. And so it's natural
Yes,
in my brain that NAB is
right?
NAB, right? I get it. We don't say A's for AES, but I don't know. Language is weird.
Sets for
um,
CES.
but yeah, like I'm going to be talking to as many people as I can sort of get my hands on that are out there using this stuff, making money with these tools, and just making sure that that we're paying attention.
Yep. I like it, UK. Dylan, will you have to stop using your current mics and have to switch? That's a great question, Dylan. Because right now, I believe you're on an MKH 416.
I am.
And you also have an RE 27, sorry. Are those going to have to turn into a Procaster and an NTG3? Oh, an
Um,
SM70.
yeah. I figured I'd pull them all in here. There we go.
Yeah.
God, that looks terrible. There we go. Let's get that out of there. That doesn't look right. No. Like the studio, obviously, I have there's a lot of road infrastructure here. I love all of it. Some of it I don't have an immediate practical use for. But like, these mics will always have a place in this studio, including, again, there's lots of great manufacturers out there. Obviously, the Friedman Group is many of them. But it's yeah, I don't know. You need a lot of paintbrushes when you're an artist,
It's true. Gear Junkie, I'm late. What did I miss, guys? You might want to go back. There's a lot. I'll just leave it there. And hello there, friends and audio miscreants. Hopefully everyone had a great fucking week. Yes, sir. I went to the manufacturer side. Enjoy it. Enjoy the expense reports, but get ready to living quarter by quarter. That's Richard Mitchell.
Yeah.
RB Sounds, welcome. I'm new here. Cheers from Brazil. Sometimes I have trouble with my Streamer X when there are a lot of apps on my Mac using audio. Is that normal? Yes, that's actually not your Streamer X. That's your computer. Streamer X is USB-C 3.0 or 3.1 because it has the HDMI going through, so video, and it's 4K 60 pass through. The reason that's important is it can handle a lot. The problem is if your computer has a lot of things and it can't handle it, one of the things that will get slowed down pretty quick is your audio, and it might make it look like it's the interface doing it, but it's not. It's your computer struggling with 300 Chrome tabs open. So that's I don't know.
Aiden's not a fan of tabs. Aiden's not a big tab guy.
No, I actually have like 30 open right now on my Firefox. I just make fun of it. People do it. Someone wants to know, Nathan Oakley wants to know who's Dylan. I'll put the names up.
I ask myself that question every morning.
Yeah, gets real deep. Enjoy Stump the Engineer, but seriously.
That's me, by the way, in case that wasn't ironic.
Yeah. Enjoy this chapter of your life, Dylan. I have a feeling Dylan's going to be doing very well for himself.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun
from an enjoyment perspective. Yeah, they're only paying him in audio gear, so I mean, he's.
Hey, you know what? I'm a good fencer. I can fence. I'll be fine. No.
Yeah. No. It's Rodecaster Pro 2s for the first year, and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
You'll have 30 of them by the end of the year. Okay, so let's talk about.
I'll tile my bathroom with Rodecaster Pros.
Let's talk about what's coming up for the live stream. I haven't been able to talk to anybody about this because, I mean, it's kind of super secret, and this has been Dylan's story to tell, not really mine to let out to the world. So I wanted to make sure this was done before I start looking around. But my plan is this: Dylan is not an easy person to replace. The broadcast background is huge
for some good reasons and some bad reasons.
Right?
But yes,
right. Nobody can duplicate just that smell. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to be reaching out to some of my counterparts within the YouTube community, and I'm going to start getting some guest hosts on. This might take a little bit. This might be a week off. I can do a solo. I feel like it's kind of going to be lacking. I've run solo broadcast stuff before. It's possible, but it's prep. You've got to rely on more prep than anything. Just ask Bandrew what he does for his podcast. Bandrew Says podcast, right? Like there's so much work involved in doing solo stuff. So I am going to be kind of bringing some people through here, and I've got an idea of some people that I would love to have, and for different reasons. Again, I'm not going to replace Dylan. I'm not going to replace his knowledge base. And this is in no way a shot at anybody on YouTube or any of my counterparts or my peers. Nobody in the YouTube space that is part of this kind of group, outside of maybe a Julian Krause. I could see Julian Krause being able to take over for Dylan quite well, but he's also somewhere where it's really late at night. So, it's just going to be. Yeah, but I think Julian would actually be able to match you chops for chops.
Or exceed that. I have a ton of respect for Julian Krauss. Never talked to or met Julian Krauss, but again, a very extensive knowledge base, a
Yeah.
very good scientific methodology, which I appreciate. I appreciate the criticality of the scientific process, and I think Julian Krauss really exemplifies that in his method. But it's I think Julian Krauss would be a great addition to the channel, but there is a time zone constraint, as
Yeah.
Aiden pointed out.
Miles. I love this. Not the same as far as humor goes. Actually, I really like Julian Krauss's humor, and I think if English was his first language, I honestly do think he's a pretty funny guy. When I
He's a
met
funny.
him at NAB last year, I still remember like he walked up behind me, he tapped me on the shoulder, he's like, "Hey, Aiden," and I turned around, I'm like, "Oh my god, you know who I am?" He's like, "Of course I know who you are." Um, so yeah, like that's the kind of stuff. Like
That's like a tickle me moment. You're like,
yeah,
is this real?
I think he knows. Like I think he's funnier than we all think. It's just we don't speak his native language, which probably in his native language he's quite a lot funnier. But so not replacing Dylan, what am I replacing? I'm going to be looking for definitely a co-host, somebody that can hold their own in a conversation. Obviously, that's going to be somebody within the YouTube community. Um, and yeah, I mean it's going to be fun for shared experiences and stuff. And if I can't find somebody, I'm gonna reevaluate it later. I don't really want to be jumping into what am I going to do now. Um, there's a lot on the table right now for work and for stuff. Like I think I've got a pile up of about 4 different video ideas that are knocking on the door. I'm launching a podcast. Um, so yeah, this is we'll see. We'll see where it's going. I think it's going to be a lot of fun no matter how it ends up. And if Dylan ever decides he's wants to come back to the YouTube sector and leave all that large amounts of money and fame behind him, yeah, he's always welcome to it. I don't think so though. Urshad Sedek, hi guys, I'm so happy for you. What a great company for a great guy. Congrats. Yeah, cheers, man.
Thank you.
That 1-year-old shirt stink. You know that stink from the jersey style shirts that you get it in the armpit smell and you'll never get rid of it. Yeah, it's that.
Or you got like I have some t-shirts, and you know what I'm talking about, like t-shirts that you get on like music tours and stuff, where I'm like, they're nice shirts, they have a nice story to tell, but I don't want to wash them because they fade because they're
Yeah.
badly made. And so there's shirts that I'm like, I don't wear it often, specifically because I'm like prohibited from washing it, but it's just it's been in the cupboard for a while, maybe gets worn once a year. But when you let that once a year marinate a little bit,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A Big Tasty. Don't worry, buddy. I still remember Big Tasty. Hey, it's been a while. What's up? Is Dylan leaving for good? Sad. For good, no, but he's leaving. He's leaving
at least in
the
the way that you know me,
yeah,
I am leaving for good. Yes.
yeah. Beresford Productions, genuinely excited for you, Dylan. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching and learning from you throughout the years. Best wishes for you in your new role. Beresford, actually, there's a couple production houses here that who's the other one, Dylan? There's Beresford, there's Red Cabin Acoustic.
Right,
That's
Kevin
what I'm
Acoustic. Yes.
I want to reach out, and I actually wouldn't mind possibly working together in the fold with you guys on a long distance project, maybe, or maybe there's something we can mess around with. I think that might be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. You never know. And Sneed Mobile Tech comes up. What's up, homies? Hey, buddy. How you doing?
What's going
Welcome.
on?
Welcome back. It's been a while. One of our wrenches in the house.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna-
two wrenches down to one wrench.
yeah, Sneed, you're gonna have to take Dylan's wrench away.
Yeah.
Or I think I'm the only one that can take a wrench away. That's sad. But yeah, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark, guys. It's been 22 minutes. And there's something here. 1 second here. Let me get this. I just got to go in here. Got to do that and that on. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn that. I'm going to do that. Okay. And now I'm going to bring in Dylan's microphone.
Oh God.
This is Neumann U80.
How do we give Dylan anxiety? This is how we give Dylan anxiety.
This is Dylan's microphone. And
yeah, boy. this is yours. So let's voodoo doll this shit. What are we
I
doing?
gave that to you for Christmas, dude. You go right ahead. That was your Christmas present. I gotta say, U87AI does sound fantastic in my ears. No, but I definitely wanted to get this out, and I mean, I guess serve the promise of this video. Dylan, I have to officially fire you. You're not yet out the door, so I guess officially you're fired.
It's
Anything?
been fun. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
I kind of
Onward and
wanted
forward.
that, right? I did want to fire you, but I think firing you through your own microphone is just that.
Oh yeah,
When I
just
borrow,
chef's kiss.
yeah, when I borrowed this off of you, did you think, God, he's gonna fire me through that microphone?
I believe it or not, it had crossed my mind. that is the Aiden Wolf brand. So absolutely, it had crossed my mind.
I gotta
And one of my more expensive ones, no less.
I got a spit guard. Don't worry, buddy. It's on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Hello, Neumann. Yeah, good old Seinfeld reference.
Newman. I'm gonna say that
I
just to trigger all the Newman.
I've I've run into so many people recently that don't get Seinfeld references. I no longer make them. I used to make a ton of Seinfeld references, and I just don't
I
anymore.
had a
It's just
phase.
not worth it.
I had a phase.
You had a phase.
Yeah. I think you know what? I think I don't know. In a certain range of generations, I think everybody had, or well, at least every basic person like myself had a Seinfeld phase.
I like it. UK says a firing had never sounded so good, right? I wasn't even perfectly on axis for it either. You're fired. There you go.
Man, this third time in like 2 months.
Yeah, Outsider Jess says I never saw Seinfeld. Are you young, Jess? How
if
young are you, Jess?
if you've never been drawn to it up until this point, I would say it's probably not your thing, so don't bother.
You know what the thing about Seinfeld is, and this is outside of how fucking problematic it is, and it is it is extremely problematic. Some of those episodes should not be on TV. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Well, it's
But
from a different world, right? I
oh,
mean,
100%. But what I will say is it's timeless because
yes.
Seinfeld focused on the human condition.
Human interaction,
Human
right?
nature,
It's the
human
mundanity of
interaction.
the human interactions.
Yeah. And while some of it is, okay, Jess is 25. Okay, I got it. All right, fair.
That's fair.
It's some of it is outdated in a sense where there's no cell phones, nothing like that. So like some things just don't seem to make sense. But the human condition, the human interaction is timeless. And watching it, you still get some of those things. You're like, oh my God, that's a classic. And I think that's why I love the show so much, despite it being incredibly problematic. I had a Breaking Bad phase. What kind of lines are you calling everyone bitch? Uh, Beavis Butthead, fire, 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 fire. Yeah. Okay, I will admit I'm the old fart in the room. Fair. That's okay. No, I don't know. I'm not giving anyone my age, but I probably out age. Well, maybe not. I know we have some elderly folk on this channel, so me included. Oh, whoa, Sab 404, new person. Not aware of what's going on, but ever since one of your videos reached me, I finally found an excuse to watch Studio Tech reviews. Oh, that's sweet, man. Curious, what video was it that got you onto Dark Corner Studios? And what's the kind of Studio Tech reviews are you into? Hit me up. Oh, Urshad says 36 never saw it. Well, it's decent, man. It's decent.
Yeah, it's decent.
So I guess from here on out, man, we're at 6:00 Eastern. Dylan, is there anything final that you want to leave with the good folk at Dark Corner Studios?
Of course. I mean, it's really been a ton of fun sitting here and talking with everybody. And it's awesome hearing that that people here have learned from me. I'm gonna get all like weird now. It's has always been something I've enjoyed. I've never seen knowledge. I think one of the biggest things that really pisses me off And I see it in technology all the time. And it's when people use knowledge as sort of a PowerPoint over somebody else. I don't agree with that. I think everybody doesn't have knowledge at a certain point in their life, whether it's when you're born or when you first before you first learn something. Everybody lacks knowledge at some point. Even every expert you've ever known knew nothing about what they're an expert in at some point. And so to call somebody that doesn't know something an idiot, is basically calling everybody an idiot at some point in their life. And I don't think that's fair. So, my goal has always been to arm people. I know it's one of the things I liked about the idea of being a manager when I was a manager is I don't care about the power. The influence is fun. It's nice to be able to exercise what you think is right, and kind of fight for that. But for me, it was always about having a team and building the culture of a team and seeing where somebody wants to go and then trying to put the stepping stones in front of them to help them get there. And a big part of that is the dissemination of knowledge, and communicating that. And so it really does mean a lot to hear everybody here that has said it, learning stuff for me. And I want everyone here to know I've learned stuff from speaking with all of you too. I have experienced a lot in certain areas, like in music and then broadcast, but there's lots of areas of media and content creation and corners of the industry where I know nothing about. I'm probably about to learn a lot about those places, but I do listen to what the people say here. In a receiving sense, and it's great to be able to answer your questions, but it's also great for me to be able to ask my own too. And obviously working with Aiden, and I will miss this. I will miss this a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if Peter ever needs like a face for Mackie and he wants to like put us together, we can do like the gear reviews or something, or the gear announcements. We could be the Ryan of Mackie.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think?
I was gonna say, get in
Yeah.
line. Get in line.
Yeah, you know what? I one of the reasons why Dylan has resonated with me as a friend as well is, and I've fought that since day one, is uh the gear crap that you get. A good example would be the video I put out on the best voiceover setups in 2025, and people got mad at me because I said the Scarlett Solo was your best starter. And it's just this constant barrage of you don't know anything. Why would you ever say that? How can you ever say that? And I'm like, well, because I know somebody who's making an obscene amount of money with the Scarlett Solo and does this as a day job with the Scarlett Solo. There's radio stations that go through Scarlett. Shut up. you
No,
know,
my
and
whole thing, there's a lot of interpretations of the word professional. My
yeah,
interpretation has always been whether it's a mindset standpoint, like if you call somebody professional, if there are skills that make you money or tools that make you money, those are professional tools.
yep,
Lots of people are going to disagree with me on that. I don't care. If somebody is running a $5 million or $10 million or $800 million business, and they say fuck every once in a while, I don't deem that unprofessional because they
nope,
conduct themselves that way and they're successful. So clearly, now maybe not
yep,
that specific point makes them money, but the point is these are the tools. This is the brand that they've developed that it, is successful. So yeah, it's professional. Same thing with tools. If you use $100 tool and it makes you money, then yeah, it's a professional tool. The SM58 is a professional tool. It doesn't
$99.
break the bank. Yeah, and so I've used the Focusrite in professional setting. I have the Scarlett Solo, I think the third or fourth gen. Um, I've done things worth millions of dollars on that. That
Yeah,
a sales rep has sold for millions of dollars on that little red box, and the person spending the millions of dollars didn't have a problem with it. Um,
nope,
you know, so yeah, I this elitism about, well, you got to get this mic. Oh, the U87 AI doesn't sound anything like the other U87 because it's the worst capsule. Shut up. Um, shut up. I don't. I think it's the skill. It's not the tools you have. It's how you use them.
yep,
And if you are ingenious. Like, I don't know. I look at a guy like I was just watching a little documentary on Tom Green. Some people might not know who Tom Green is, a decently successful comedian, and how Tom Green, the tools that Tom Green started his career with. But he had the ideas, and he had them before anybody else did, and it took off because of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Get the tools that you can, and spend your time and money coming up with the next ideas.
I think Jules is trolling us. So if you have a domestic solution for a professional problem, is it then professional? Technically.
Well, from my perspective, and again, I'm not saying it's my way or the highway. Everybody has a different definition of professional. It's one of those terms like Aiden and I have talked about broadcast as a marketing term. Marketing people take words that actually mean stuff and bastardize them. And so things, I don't know, like broadcast or professional, they get kind of abused, and the meaning gets a little blurry over time. Like, when Aiden and I were starting in broadcast and music and stuff, the SM7B, that was a broadcast microphone. There
Yep.
have been some mics that have come out, nothing that I couldn't speak to. I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
The
That we've reviewed that
TM70 from Tascam. The
there's
TM70
I thought there was an Audio Technica one as well at one point.
2040, the AT 2040.
Yeah, and
Yep.
the terms they've used, broadcast quality, and I'm looking, okay, what justification do you have to throw that label on it?
I
You know?
love this. The worst label for equipment is gaming, right? Well, that's
Oh,
RGB.
yeah.
I do have to say, I'm surprised in 2025 that podcast and uh, quote unquote prosumer gear hasn't gotten RGB. I'm actually like almost impressed that RGB hasn't crept in. Like it's in the really low shit tier of gear, but like with the gaming quote unquote stuff and all of it being like, RGB this, RGB that, and like we're talking like $300 microphones, $300 stuff with RGB. I'm really impressed that the rest of the industry has avoided that, except for like Rodecaster Pro and Duo. Yeah. Anyways,
Well, but that's
well,
different. Those RGB, that's a functional thing. It's not really an aesthetic
yeah,
thing. I mean, it ends up being an aesthetic thing, but it's,
yeah,
it's
it's
used as an
functional.
organizational tool. I want to see a shotgun mic at some point where there's like a glow that comes to the grill with RGB.
You could
I'm
probably
not going
do
to get
that.
into the complexity.
Oh,
I'm not going to get into the complexity of
someone's
doing that.
kicking us. Folks.
Nice,
The
cooking very
off-axis
well, I
rejection.
hear.
Yeah, the off-axis rejection of the U87 AI, everybody. Okay, tell you what, it's after 6. We love you all,
You
guys.
missed the part where the off-axis rejection is trying to reject 96 dB SPL. You forgot that part.
Dylan, thank you for your service, brother. You're fired still, but thank you for your service. And you're always welcome back here as long as you're not working for one of the evil empires. So
One of the evil empires, yeah.
have yourselves a great week, guys. This live stream, I'll keep you updated on what's going on, but we'll see you in the next one.
And I will be watching. Keep an eye. You might see me pop in the comments every once in a while. Just the ghost of Christmas past.
Cheers, guys.